So this video is very straight to the point. I did not do any fancy edits or cuts or videography. I just wanted to give you guys the information that you deserved. You can listen to it like a podcast, do it while you're cooking, driving, or simply just watch the video. But it's straight to the point. It's very helpful. There's a lot of information to digest. So I recommend even taking some notes, watching it a couple times. And yeah, I just pray that you get what you need from this video and enjoy.
I feel like this video is very energetically charged. I'm having such a good day. I've been having an amazing amount of downloads this week, and I just feel called to share some thoughts and ideas surrounding wealth, money, energy, what it truly means to be rich, what that word even means, and kind of get into it considering we're living in a world where a lot of people are unhappy, and they are unhappy because they are, quote, poor, or think that money equals happiness. Just speaking from the heart, I have some bullet points that I wrote on my laptop, and I just want this to be real organic, come from the heart, come from my experiences. Oh, Father, thank you for giving me this opportunity to be able to have a platform to talk on, to have people who are interested in what I have to say. Thank you for everything that you do for me. Thank you for everything that you have done for me in the past, present, and in the future, because I know if you did it once, you can do it again, Lord. I just invite the Holy Spirit into this moment and ask that they talk through me and use me as a vessel. God, I pray that anyone that is behind the screen looking for answers, looking for happiness, looking for something, that they find it, that they gain some information through this video and leave what doesn't resonate with them and take what does. Thank you. I love you, Lord. In Jesus' mighty name I pray, amen. So let's get into what does being rich mean to you? Because being rich is not always monetary, financially. Sometimes being rich can be with energy, it could be with friendships, it can be with opportunities, it could be with your health, how you speak to yourself, your self-love, your self-care. These are things that make us feel rich. I feel a lot of times people will judge themselves based off what's in their bank account. And by doing that, they almost limit themselves and limit their possibilities and opportunities to become rich. Because once you realize that being rich comes within, and within your mindset, within your energy, that's when you'll actually embody that. It's a frequency. Everything is frequency because everything is energy. And if you're on the same frequency of what you desire, of what you want, you'll eventually get it. Since energy is always constant, it's always flowing, everything is always changing. Nothing is the same. Nothing lasts forever, which is why they say, like, when something is good, enjoy it while it lasts. And when something is bad, to remember that it's not going to last forever. And the reason why I'm even bringing this up, because everything that I'm talking about has to do with wealth and richness and energy. Everything is all connected in some shape, form, or way. It always comes back to that. A lot of this video will also have some spiritual aspects to it, because if you do not believe that this world is spiritual or doesn't have energy, then that's some soul searching that you need to figure out and you need to do as well. Money is energy. It is a tool. It is something that we use to exchange goods and services, but it is something that we decided to give value to. Like the piece of paper, the $100 bill, that is a piece of paper. That is a piece of paper that we decided to give value, and say, hey, this paper means that I get to exchange this for that. That's all it is. It is nothing of value until we, as humans, decided to make that of value. We decided to say, like, hey, this piece of paper, it has a good enough energy, a good enough frequency that it is worth something. It is an illusion. And it's an illusion because it is something that we created, we made up. We decided this piece of paper is this. Imagination, illusion, it all correlates. Just stay with me. I hope you're staying with me. This video will require a lot of reprogramming, a lot of just thinking outside the box, because obviously the way that you're thinking is not working for you. It's not working for you because you're looking for answers, you're looking for guidance, hence why you click this video. So just stay with me, be open, and just know that we are going to be reprogramming your mind, because everything is a program. This world, the way the systematic government designed this, is all about systems, but we have to break these systems and break our old beliefs in order to receive new information and information that serves us, because everything starts in your mind. If money is an illusion, then we want to attract and not chase. So how does one attract money and not chase it? You have to know that everything, again, is in flow, in a motion. Nothing in this world is constant. Even Earth, Mother Earth, nature. Water is always flowing. The ground is always growing, cracking, moving, making room for new vegetation, new plants. So with that being said, attracting is to know that you should not be attached to anything, that you should be detaching yourself and understand that things will flow. They will flow in your favor, and they sometimes will not flow in your favor, but anything that is for you will never be taken away, or can never be taken away. So if something doesn't flow in your favor, it wasn't for you to begin with. And it's only when you try to fight that law that we get frustrated and we get anxiety and we get depressed, because we are not trusting in what is. So stressing over money, that's how you chase. That's how you do not attract, because you're saying, I do not trust in the world, I do not trust in God, I do not trust in myself that I will receive. You're basically saying, I'm stressing over money because I fear that I'm in lack. I fear that there's not enough time, not enough finance, not enough resources for me to receive. Versus trusting, which trusting looks like everything is working out for me. Everything is aligning for me exactly the way that it should be. I understand that everything is in flow, so even if it's not flowing to me now, it will flow to me eventually. I will be open to receiving because I receive everything that is for me. You see how those two mindsets are just way different, and you get different results because of them. So flow is to not hold on to something. Flow is fluid, it is free, it is detached. Again, I'm going to have and say a lot of things that may be repetitive, but it's because it serves a purpose. And I would highly recommend even taking notes in this video, maybe even rewatching. This is something that you could even like put on while you're cooking or driving somewhere or just doing another activity, because it's going to be a lot of information, but a lot of value that nobody took the time to break down for me, that I had to learn, that I had to figure out through trial and error, and also just read. To be in flow is to not holding on, to not be attached, right? Money is energy and a flow in life, but it is not the purpose of life, okay? There is so much more to life than money. Hence why sometimes you'll hear a lot of rich people saying, yes, I have a lot of financial gain and independence, but I'm still depressed, or I still have anxiety, or I'm lonely. It's because money is not everything in life, even though it is a part of life. And once you realize that, you will not let that be your baseline of happiness and joy, because those things come from within. But once you understand that money is a tool that can help you in life, that can help with other things, and that you are deserving of money, and money is not evil, it is not a bad thing, but it is a part of life. It is not the reason why you should be getting up. It is not the reason why you should be starting the business. It is not the reason why you should just live, because if that's what you're living for, you're going to be disappointed at some point, because at the end of the day, we are human and we always want more. We want the bigger, the better, the more. We are never truly satisfied because everything is in flow. And even for a second, if something satisfies us, after a couple days, weeks, months, or years, we get bored and we're on to the next thing because we are constantly in a flow. You can't be stressed and expect to get money, because when you are stressed, you are imbalancing your nervous system. And why is this important? What is your nervous system all about? Your nervous system basically is what allows you to be balanced. It is also has a lot to do with your health and your well-being. And your health and well-being, both physical and mental, is how you go about life. It's how you think about yourself, others, the outcomes, how positive you are, how you just view life, and how you feel. So when you're feeling shitty, how can you think about anything other than feeling shitty? When your nervous system is in balance, it's hard to be free and creative, happy, and allow life to flow. This keyword flow is going to keep popping up. So when your nervous system isn't balanced, we're always in a state of anxiousness and panic. We're dysregulated, and we have headaches. We can't sleep. We're not hungry. We don't want to move. We want to sleep more. We don't want to talk. We want to cocoon. We want to be away from other people. And all those things keep us from growing, keep us from moving to the next level, keep us from expanding, keep us from opportunities that may come, but because we're so closed off and not open to receiving, that we can't get those opportunities that may bring us abundance and wealth and opportunities and things of that nature. Whatever in life that is stressing you out, get to the root of your problems, get to the root of your issues. This video is about wealth and richness, but it's also about you. This whole video is about you. You need to do some inner digging, some self-reflective thoughts, meditation, really get to the root of why you feel the way you feel about not only yourself, but your life and the outcomes that you've had and are having. And this is something that is not going to be easy. There are going to be some uncomfortable truths. There are going to be some things that you have to let go of. There are going to be some things that you have to reprogram your mind to believe. And that all takes time, because depending on how old you are, that is almost like 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever years of you telling yourself, this is my truth and this is my reality. And to just one day wake up and shake those thoughts and be completely different, you're going to have to reprogram your truths. And when I say that, I mean, stop telling yourself you're broke. Stop telling yourself that you don't have enough. Stop telling yourself that you'll start this when you have this. Because in reality, no matter what your situation is, the answer is always going to be you. It always starts with you. It starts with your mindset. It starts with what you're telling yourself that you're allowed, or telling yourself what is possible. Like, part of being rich is being delusional, because you have to have such a good, high, blind faith that you believe something that is not there yet. You believe it so hard that you know it will be eventually. And eventually doesn't have a time, because that is you and your life journey. But it will happen. And it will happen because in your mind, there is no plan B. Plan B is to get to your plan A. Because when you tell yourself it is going to happen, there's always going to be a solution. There's always going to be a possibility. You're always going to make it happen. Because if you think about it, any time that your back was put against the wall, did you or did you not figure out what you needed to do? Did you or did you not figure out the result, the solution, because you had to? There was no other choice. And this is exactly how you should be talking to yourself. This is exactly how you should be talking about the outcomes that you want in your life, including your finances, including your wellness, including your health. All these things correlate. I don't care how rich you are. If you are not healthy, if you do not have your health, you are spiritually poor. You are poor. Because you can't trick me into believing that you are rich when you can't move your body, when you have congestion in your lungs, when you have mucus stuck in your body, when you can't even do certain things without getting out of breath. That's not true wealth. That's not true richness. To be rich is to have a healthy mind, body, and spirit, because you know that with those things, you're already rich. You're already abundant and full of life and wealth. That was a lot. That was a lot of subtopics in one, but we're kind of going to just keep jumping back throughout these points throughout the video, because it is like a circle. It's not even a square or triangle. Like, everything is connected. Okay? You can't be stressed out and expect to get money, because stress and being rich and abundant are not on the same frequency. Think about everything like a wave, okay? A wavelength. Stress is down here. Richness, abundance, wealth is way up here. Okay? How can one correlate at the same time? They can't. They're missing each other. They're never going to touch. That's how you should be thinking about stress, anxiety, depression, those low vibrational thoughts, those low vibrations, okay? Everything that we're trying to do in this video is higher your vibration, elevate your mind, elevate your spirit, okay? And the things that are weighing you down, that's why you're not reaching that richness that you want. Because again, depression, anxiety, richness. When you think I can't, I don't have, it's not enough, it brings you down each notch every time, okay? So that's something that you're going to have to do on your own time. And when you figure it out, continue this video. Let's think about money, how it was back in the day. Like I said, money before we categorized it with this piece of paper, money was a system. It was a trading system, okay? We used to barter. We used to give you, I'll give you this, I don't know, this cow for this amount of silk, and they would trade. Money is just paper. Realize that money is just paper. Exchange of value. Keyword value. Okay? Everything has a value. And in business, all we're doing is trading value for value. Example, skincare line. This skin cleanser will clear your skin, give you glowing blah 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 blah. It is worth $50. They have to convince you to believe that you need that product bad enough that you are willing to spend your money, aka the value, for their value. We'll give you this for this. And you, as the consumer, say, hey, I think that product is valuable enough that I want to trade this for this. That is the concept of money. That's all it is, okay? When you know who you are, when you know what your value is, when you know what your energy, your energetic level, your energetic frequency is, you will start to align with what you feel you deserve. And when you know what you deserve, you start to move differently. And when you move differently, you make different decisions. And those decisions will give you results. And those results will give you the life that you're looking for, the life that you're dreaming about. Example, someone who doesn't believe that they have high value, that they don't know who they are, will be confused enough to be in a relationship that does not serve them anything, that does not serve them any positive purpose. The result of that is being with someone who is abusive, who talks down on them. The result of that is maybe they hate themselves and they have anxiety and depression, so they overeat. Then maybe they're overweight. Then their confidence is low. Then they don't think that they can do things, and they stay home all day and they don't get anything done. A person of high value and knows who they are and knows their energy will not allow somebody like that to even be their partner. They will have a partner who feeds life into them, who will encourage them to do better and be better. And maybe they push each other enough to go to the gym and they physically and mentally are at their best because after they go to the gym, they journal. And after they journal, they have smoothies. And after they have smoothies, they're able to have the ability to have ideas that they acted on that gave them opportunities, which transactioned into money. Two different people, two different results, two different lives. That is how you should be viewing money as well. When you connect to yourself and you know who you are, you will make different decisions, and those decisions will align to the lifestyle that you feel you deserve. So, if you want to have a life of wealth and richness and abundance, what are you doing to get to that level? What are you doing or not doing to get those results? Do you have discipline? Are you setting goals? Are you just sitting, or maybe you're just sitting all day wishing and looking at Instagram and looking at other people and being like, damn, I want that. But what are you doing about it? Because you can want it all you want, you can wish all you want, but if you're not taking action, you're going to get the same results. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Already put in your head that you are who you want to be. I personally had to kill off my old self. I had to kill off the old Naysha because I decided that the old version of me, the old Naysha, can no longer coexist with the things that I need to get done in order to be who I want to be. Is that making sense? You basically have to kill off your old self and start acting like you're already the version of yourself that you want to be. So people who may think about certain ideals of who they want to be but are still maybe doing the same old habits and with the same crowd, eating the same foods that brings them no value, maybe not being disciplined, not getting up early, not learning, being open to new programs, but claiming that they want this lifestyle. They don't really want it. You don't want it bad enough. Because if you want it bad enough, you will change right there and then. There is no tomorrow, I'll do it later. You will do it right now and you'll figure it out right now. And 1% change every day is better than no percent. Slow motion is better than no motion because, again, everything is in flow, everything is always changing, everything is in motion. So if you just change 1% every single day, eventually those small changes will get those big results, ultimately giving you that dream lifestyle that you want, that dream bank account, that dream, this is the way I want to look, this is the way I want to feel. So ask yourself, what does that person look like? Really be specific. Write in your journal the type of person that you want to be. What does she do or what does he do? You have to move as if the money is already in your account. Like if you wanted $20,000 tomorrow, what does the person with $20,000 in their bank account do? How do they move? What do they do with their day? What is the purpose of their life? What is the purpose of what they're doing? And again, these are hard, long questions that you may not have the answers for, and that's fine. You have your whole life to figure it out, but at least be on the route of trying to figure out these things. Try. Don't just go day by day thinking that everything's gonna figure itself out. To a good degree it will, but also you have to take action. You have to make something shake because no one is coming to save you. In this world, the opportunities are not gonna just land in your lap. You're gonna have to work for them. You're gonna have to finagle the bagel and put it together in a pretty little package and have it ready for someone to say, yes, I would like to give you this opportunity, or yes, I would like to give you my money. You're worth the investment. You're worth this exchange of value. With that being said, prosperity and wealth existed before money. There are two different types of energies that we can tap into. I'm going to refer to them as feminine energy and masculine energy. And this has actually gone viral, not maybe a couple years ago, about, I'm in my femme, or, in my mask. But it stems from culture. It stems from actual old civilizations. And Feminine energy is to be, when you're in your feminine, you are more fluid, you are free, you are more creative, more whimsical per se, very just free, very open to receiving, open to giving. There is no hard ridges. Feminine energy carries a lot of beautiful energy. It is very rewarding when you are in your feminine energy at the right time, at the right place, and around the right people, because feminine energy can attract and pull or draw people towards you, can attract money, can attract animals, and it's just an energy that is very, think of it like a light, very pulling. Masculine energy is also very valuable and also very beautiful. This is more structured. This is working, this is action, planning, the doing, the discipline, intuitive as well, because you have to always be intentional with what you're doing and why you're doing it. There is a beautiful balance of both energies to create wealth, and everything is all about balance. So you can't have one or more than the other, because you will cause the scale to tip. And if you're too much in your feminine energy, don't get anything done. You may not have a deadline. You may be having something to do on your list for forever. But if you're too in your masculine, you're also not being in the moment, you're not being present, you're not enjoying as much, you're always constantly doing. You're always probably stressed out because you need to do something all the time, and you're not really allowing yourself to be. You must learn how to balance both of these and know what that balance is, because everyone has a different balance. Discovering what that looks like for you may be different than for me, or your sister, your brother, your grandma, and everyone has a different percentage of what that's supposed to look like. So I wouldn't copy too hard about someone else's workflow, because we also all work differently. The self-reflection, you have to ask yourself and be real with yourself, like, what is my balance? There are times where you just want to say fuck it and just do whatever, but again, like, you're trying to look for wealth, you're trying to be rich, you're trying to do all these things, like, you should always move with purpose and intention. Wealth is in relationships. It is in the relationships that you make. It is in the relationships that you have with your family, your friends, yourself, self-love, self-care, and your ideas of happiness and joy. All these things that only you will know. And you have to nurture these ideas, nurture these relationships with other people. How do you speak to other people? How do you present yourself? How do you look at yourself in the mirror? Like, how do you look at your family? How do you look at your friends? How do you want to be perceived? Like, all these things, like, these are things you have to work on, and again, move accordingly to have that reflected in your life, in your bank account, in the abundance, in the opportunities that you're desiring. And that also includes your lifestyle choices. Like, their lifestyle choices have energy, they have frequencies, and each choice has either a negative or positive. And I'll give you a huge example of alcohol. Now, I'm not going to tell you what to do with your life, but alcohol is a poison. It is a legal poison at that. So it is normalized in society to drink alcohol when it does nothing for you. When alcohol literally lowers your vibrational scale, it makes you not think clearly, it physically makes you sick. It gives you hangovers because your kidneys, your livers, your stomach, your every organ in your body is basically saying, hey, this is killing me, and I have to work 10 times as harder to normalize and stabilize myself to do the things that my body naturally does normally. Having alcohol constantly in your life will give you a different result versus you juicing, which help your liver, your kidneys, your stomach, your skin, your hair, your nails, give you higher vibrations, help you think clearly, regulate your nervous system, like I talked about earlier, regulate your digestive system, your reproductive system, all the systems. It helps because those fruits and vegetables and herbs and plants were designed to molecularly, I can never say that word, but to structure your cells better and help your cells be regenerative and be stronger. So again, what do your lifestyles entail? Like, what lifestyle are you embodying and expecting a certain result if it's on either of the scale? Again, this video is not to go over lifestyle, but what you do and the choices that you make are definitely going to correlate to the amount of richness and abundance and wealth in your life. Going hand in hand would be the foods that you're eating. We are in a time where there is no excuse to be eating things that no longer serve us, because we have nothing but knowledge and accessible information that eating processed and junk food and fast food literally slows us down, makes us unhealthy. There's so much, like, heightens our cholesterol, blocks our thought process, or blocks our energy, blocks the way that we think, brain fog, all these negative things that are associated with eating foods that no longer serves us. So how do you expect to be rich and wealthy eating those foods? How do you expect to make the best decisions in life and maybe make the best business decisions, financial decisions, if your brain and your body are not in the right state of mind to do the best that it can? Again, not too much, maybe another video, maybe another time, but this definitely correlates to abundance and wealth. Because if you knew better, you do better. And if you know better and you still don't do better, then you don't really want it. Then you don't want it as bad as you say you do. You just want to hear yourself talk. You just want to believe that you want better. There are people who don't have a lot of money in their bank account but consider themselves successful already, consider themselves wealthy, consider themselves happy, and have joy. But you have to determine, what does success mean to you and what does being rich mean to you. Just to be a little personable, before I had my spiritual awakening, before I gave my life to Jesus, I was always worried and having anxiety about, like, survival and not having enough to pay my bills, or just always worrying about the next money that I was going to get. And with that being said, I didn't have much because I was constantly stressed. I was always, like, worried. And it wasn't until that I decided to give my life, give my trust, give my ideas, my everything to Jesus, and really trust in my spiritual practices, that's when I finally got the results that I want, because I detached myself from those truths and I understood that everything is working out for my favor. If something does not happen for me, it's because it was not meant for me. I also had a realization of, like, every time that I ever needed something, whether it be a bill, whether it be food, whether it be a relationship or something, God always provided for me. He always provided for me. I never went hungry. I always had something to drink. I always had a place to rest my head. I always had clothes on my back. He always provided for me. And when I thought about that, I said, what am I doing stressing about something that has always been provided for me? And it was provided for me because I always had faith in God. I always had faith that a higher being was taking care of me, even if I didn't understand it at the moment. I say that because success to me back then meant, oh, I'm making six figures, I'm having the boat, I'm having the private jets, I'm having the blah, blah, blah. But once I realized the simplicities in life, the fact that I'm taken care of, the fact that I get to do what I want, the fact that I'm living in a prayer and I set out to be my own boss and, work my way to being a private chef and having this life, that I was like, I'm already successful. I'm already successful. I'm literally living in a prayer. I told myself I didn't want to work a 9 to 5. I'm not working a 9 to 5. I told myself that I wanted to live in a tropical area, and I'm living in a tropical state, eating fruits off the side of the roads. The beach is 10 minutes away from me. I'm constantly surrounded by nature. I'm always going hiking. I'm always going to the beach. I am living my prayer. I'm living my successful life. The things that I once thought about, I'm living in it. I get to do what I want, when I want, how I want. I'm literally making a video right now in the park on a Tuesday where other people are stuck at their corporate job hating their life, and no shade if that's you, if that's the life that you want, but I knew that wasn't for me. I knew I wanted to have a life of fluidity, that I can travel, make money, be myself, create content, and I'll make a whole nother video for how I did that. But that was my success. That was like, oh, I made it in life. And it wasn't until maybe like, we're in 2026, maybe in like 2024, that I had that aha moment of, wow, this is success. I am successful. I'm already rich. I'm wealthy. I'm abundant. And because I had that epiphany, I started to believe that I was already successful. That success started to present itself in my life. I already was living my dream. My reality was my dream, and my dream was my reality. So therefore, my life that I was living started to align. It started to correlate. I started to actually embody that and be that person, because in my mind, that was my success. You have to affirm and reprogram and know that you are worthy, and that telling yourself that you are worthy and believing that you are worthy is part of the battle, part of what you need to reprogram your mind, because wealth and abundance and richness is all a state of mind. Everything is a state of mind. It all starts with your mindset. And that's why mental health is so important, and doing things that are going to make you feel good is so important, because it correlates to the money that you make. It correlates to how much that you are willing to give in order to receive. That spirit that we are all born with, that is from God. That is a source from God. Everyone inside has a spirit. This body is nothing more than a physical casing, but Naysha is the spirit. Like, Naysha is the body, but who I am truly is my spirit. You can embody the outside persona all you want, but the person that is deep within, when you're left alone, when you are truly by yourself, that is the person that you need to start doing work with. That is the person that you need to reshape, recalibrate, because if your spirit is poor, you will only reach a certain amount of abundance and wealth and success in your life, because there's a cap. You're almost like capping yourself, and you can't go beyond that because your spiritual blockage is not allowing you to go further. At the end of the day, we are human and we are flawed, and by nature we are born with sin. So we're not perfect. We make mistakes. You also have to give yourself grace, and when you do something that may be negative or bad, like, acknowledge it, apologize, grow from it, and move on. Don't let it harbor, because everyone makes mistakes. Just learning how to regulate it, and regulate it healthy, whether it be going for a walk, talking to a friend, reading your Bible, praying. I pray a lot. I move a lot. I make sure I go to the gym. I'm making sure that I'm eating the right foods. I try to journal. When you're already doing good things that are positive for you, instead of it being a chore, instead of it being something that you have to do, it's something that you love doing. It's something that brings you joy, because you know that what it's going to give you back. All the answers that we ever need is in ourselves already. It is only when we take time to have this stillness and not be distracted by phones and TVs and shows and sex and all these things that can sometimes put on this blockage, that we can understand who we are. And once we understand who we are, again, we get to raise our vibrations and align ourselves with the decisions and the lifestyle and the actions that we want. So if you're ever fearful or doubting yourself or questioning, take time to go in nature. Take time to call up your mom, your friend, your sister, whatever, who makes you feel comfortable. Talk it out. Maybe you need to move it out. Maybe you need to cry it out. Crying is very healthy and something that I do every couple of months, if we're being honest. But after, I feel so good, because I got all that energy that was bottled up in my spirit. Trust, confidence, and alignment are on the same frequency as money. Because when you trust yourself, you make better decisions that will probably make you more money. When you're confident in yourself, you attract more people and more business opportunities that will bring you more money. And when you're aligned with who you are and what you want, you can make decisions and opportunities that bring you more money. So there's always a theme here, but that theme is basically, again, going back to you. The answer is always within you. The answer is always within God, because God is within you. you, spirit is within you. And when you take the time to stop distracting yourself and tap into that, you will get all the answers that you're looking for. God made us that way. God literally made us to move a certain way, and it's only when we tap into who we truly are and when we embody that and align ourselves with who God already made us to be, that's when life starts to click. That's when everything starts to make sense. That's when everything starts to align, because he's basically like, yo, I made you this way. I made you to do these things, and I'm waiting on you. And you over here messing around doing this, and this, or messing with this person when you're not supposed to, or doing these things when you're not supposed to. No wonder you're getting the results that you're getting. And then you crying out to me to help you. He's like, I'm waiting on you, and you waiting on me. Like, how does that make sense? That's all I'm gonna say about that. Trust in God. This video is not trying to convert you. I'm not trying to force it on you, because a relationship with God is something that you have to truly want and you have to truly build. And that was something that took me time and for me to discover on my own type of time. And it's been my own journey. And for years now, I've been a follower of Christ, but it wasn't always like that. And I had to build up that relationship. But now that I am here, I can honestly say it was the best decision I've done, not only for abundance and wealth, but just happiness and joy and finding peace in this chaotic life and just knowing who I am. I want to help people. I don't want to be stingy. I don't want everything to be, oh, I'm only going to do it if I get paid for it. Because, again, I already told you, everything in life is not all about money. I do these videos. I'm going to start doing these videos because I truly want to give back. I want to build my community up. I want to see you guys win. I believe in you. If no one has told you that today, I believe in you. I believe you are worthy. I believe that you are everything that you believe you are. You have to believe it, Tell yourself that you are loved, you are deserving, you are already wealthy, you are rich, you are beautiful inside and out, and you are going to get everything that you want out of life. You are going to receive and be able to give as much as you're receiving. And I love this for you, and I love you, and I appreciate you. And send this to someone who needs to hear this. Send this to your loved ones, your friends, your family members. Expand other people's minds and send this to them, because it's only getting better from here. You already made the first step, the first decision to say that you want to change, that you want better. And that is most people. That is like, most people don't even do that. They don't make that first step. So congratulate yourself. Sit on this, marinate on it, take notes.
So my phone ended up dying, but I honestly think it happened for a reason. There was a lot that was said. I hope that you guys take in whatever you needed to take in, sit on it, digest it. And yeah, let me know your favorite thought, idea, comment down below, and stay tuned for more talks with Nay. I'll see you guys another time.